Hey, good morning, love. I kinda snuck out to make some coffee for myself. Didn't want to wake you up too early. Did you want one too? Or maybe some tea? Yeah, sure. I'll go make you some. Hmm. Did you sleep okay? I know things have been a little stressful lately with everything that's been going on. I can only imagine that your rest has been all over the place. Well, that's good at least. It could definitely be a lot worse. But you don't have to work today, right? I've got a shift to get to tonight, but that also means I'll be free for a little while. Yeah, I figured I'd have a lazy morning and just see what happens. Plus, it's raining right now, so it's not like I have to go anywhere if I don't want to. Yeah, I didn't know if you could hear it. It's not too heavy or anything, so there's just little patters on the roof. Nothing too serious. Mm-hmm. I actually thought maybe I'd just take a step out onto the porch. Maybe watch the rain for a little bit. Hmm. Did you want to join me? Yeah? Well then, here. We can take these outside with us. Just be careful with how hot it is. Yeah, I guess I should have told you before I handed it to you. But I didn't overfill it, and I even dropped some ice in there so it'd cool down quicker. I hope that's all right. Good. Come on, sweetheart. Which seat? Left or right? Okay, then. I'll take this one. At least it's not too cold out either. Feels almost like the perfect weather, don't you think? Well, minus not being able to go out into the rain. But the wind isn't blowing it onto us, and the sun's behind the clouds, so it's not bright out. But it's not super dark either. We can just sit and exist here. Watch the rain brush against the trees. See the little squirrels running around in the grass. And this coffee feels so warm. I don't even think the little chill matters. It's so nice, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, when I was at work the other day, this one guy asked me when I wanted to start opening up a chain of shops around the area. Which, I guess it's a fair question considering the popularity. But it got me thinking about it a little more. I mean, I know I probably could in a few years or so. Maybe even longer if I wanted to wait. But honestly, what's the rush, you know? I've already done so much to get where I am now. So I can do what? Shoot full speed into the next huge project? I feel like if we always did that with everything, then we'd never actually appreciate where we are now. Like, sure, maybe I want to get there someday. Or maybe I won't get there at all. But right now, I know that I'm at least happy with where I am. What I've managed to do. Since my shop has been doing pretty well with sustaining itself, I guess I have no regrets. I'm not really in any rush to make it something bigger than what I initially envisioned. I just want to be content for a while. Sometimes people can have a continuous, gradual growth, mm, like these trees. Or maybe they'll even bloom at their own pace and stay still for a while. Life isn't always about rushing from one thing to the next thing, and I don't think I really want to be the person that breaks their backs by never knowing when to slow down. The world can try and spread whatever propaganda they want about trying to be the best version of myself. But I think the best version of me is the one that exists today. I mean, no other version knows as much as I do, or has been through what I have, but no other version is imperfect either. So, what would be the point in rushing if it's just for some superficial life we're supposed to find value in? Honestly, I'd much rather walk comfortably at my own pace than chase someone else's idea of success. And if that comfort is managing my little shop every day, making people smile, then I'm completely fine with it, you know? Sorry. Kinda rambled on a little bit. I'll stop if it's bothering you. We can just sit and enjoy the rain if that's what you want. Are you sure it's fine? All right, all right. Mm, God, that never gets old. Oh, just when you mix this weather with a bit of a warm drink, it can be calming in its own way. Makes you realize just how precious these little things can be. Well, there's always natural change happening, but we're always so focused on other things that we never get to really appreciate it. A lot of people go so long without savoring what's around them and what they have, and some can't even seem to slow themselves down. Life for them is a race to get somewhere before death, but what's the point in killing yourself to reach money and status when life is meant to be enjoyed? Existence in itself is just the gift of presence. But if you're never present, then it can almost feel like a waste sometimes. Sure, I get when people have to work a lot to put food on the table, and they can get a certain kind of joy from making sure their family has a good life. But if you never take any time off, then it can really shift your perspective on existence. Not that it's a terrible thing every time. People can just be wired differently, but it's times like these where I can sit and enjoy the rain that things really fall into perspective. You get to see how nature manages to interact with itself, how it feeds and replenishes and flows on its own cycle. Meanwhile, we're just living around it. We can say that we've conquered so much of nature and the earth itself, and yet we haven't even scratched the surface. The ocean is mostly unexplored, the land beneath us is untouched, and no matter how much we tear into the world around us, it always seems to fight back. We're simply just coexisting. Yeah, I guess we're kind of like nature too. We all want to survive one way or another, create a better existence for other generations, and raise our kids right. But by that same logic, we can also be passive and live just to exist. I shouldn't need to prove anything to anyone so long as I simply survive. And by the end, I can say that I don't regret anything because I valued the time that I had and I appreciated my surroundings. I'm satisfied with where I've come thus far and where I've been, so now I just want to be at peace. No, I wouldn't say that I'm completely at peace. There are still problems that we have to deal with in everyday life. But at the very least, I can still tackle them knowing that I'll survive and live another day. The world will keep spinning, and I'll watch it for as long as I'm able, with whoever wants to be there with me. I'm just glad that you're one of them. Whether or not we manage to last forever, because I will always be so glad that we met, that we're here now to enjoy these little moments, and I won't regret a single thing. Would you? It's fine if you don't want to answer that right now. We can never know everything, including how the future might turn out. But I'd rather if I didn't hold on to any long-lasting regrets, because I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't met you. And I quite like the experiences we've had together, the lessons I've learned. It's made life pretty fun and memorable thus far. Yeah, even on the bad days. But if we only held on to malice every day of our lives, then we'd only be wasting it by keeping ourselves focused on something that wasn't worth our time in the first place. So, I'd say it's better to hold on to people a little more fondly. Not to say that our emotions are the easiest to control, but it would be a lot better as a whole if we were all allowed to feel them as they were, instead of pretending they didn't exist for the sake of how we look to other people. If we all just felt our emotions and let them be, then we could find that time and space to pay more attention to the better things in life. Like you. Like the little squirrels. And like the rain hitting the trees. Life has so much to give us by simply existing. But it's been turned into such a race and a competition that the meaning begins to blur somewhere, and it turns into something that it's not. But what's the point in turning the cycle into a living hell when everywhere can just be a little piece of heaven? I must sound like something out of a fairy tale. Life is all sunshine and rainbows. Am I right? But it's not. And I know that it's not. There's so much that should change, and it's nearly impossible for any one person to do it on their own. Some people have even put up a fight for their entire lives, only to be shut down by some higher power. I get that life isn't fair for everyone, that people aren't all created equally or have the same capabilities. But we all share the common thread of existence, one that can be appreciated to some extent or another. I mean, I still have bills to pay and work to go to and family drama of my own. But I can at least say that today feels so peaceful. The rain sounds so nice and gentle. And even if it's just for a minute, I want to settle into it and enjoy what it is that life brings. I want to revel in the experience of just existing as I am, to be able to observe my surroundings without any judgment, just live in the soft brush of the air, smell the muddy soil below the grass. I want to be able to see the light gray skies that pour sustenance onto nature for however long that I can. Because every moment, every second is one where I can breathe in the world and be content with where I am and what I have in front of me. So long as you're sitting here with me, I don't mind if you say everything or nothing at all. Just having you here is a gift in and of itself. I know that some people are afraid to sit in the silence, especially when they're with someone else. But once you start to settle into it, it's not so bad. You can sit and slow your mind down for a bit. Have no expectations for one another. We can watch the raindrops fall and touch the ground. Be a little more steady, even. Because it's all right to not be 100% all the time. You need to be able to rest too without living for constant energy. And sometimes that requires you to turn your brain off a little, lean back in a chair, sip on a hot drink, and waste some time on a cozy, quiet morning. Because you'll realize that this time was never really wasted at all. You were existing for the sake of existing. All so you can be recharged for whatever comes next. It's how we're meant to be. Even though some people have developed a defense mechanism around it. I know they can see silence as dangerous. It makes them freak out a little bit because they don't know what will happen next. They don't like the thoughts in their head, and if that's you, too, then I'll be here to hold your hand and guide you through it. Because I think you deserve to slow down, too. You deserve to exist in the voice of nature, where the rain hits the trees, and the leaves flutter in the wind, where the pine cones and acorns fall into the grass, and the bushes crackle around small animals. I think there are definitely moments where these sounds alone are all we need, because it reminds us of how we can simply exist without expectation, how we can coexist with the entire world, and how life's experiences can be so peaceful despite everything else. These little things can sometimes remind us that we don't need to move at the speed of light to find our worth or to find value in this life, because we are worthy enough just by existing here in general and enjoying the presence of life itself. I'm sorry if I talked your ear off too much this morning. I think that's all I really had to say. It's just that the man the other day really got me thinking about it too much, and I realized how content I really am with life as it is. Even if I do or don't make more shops down the line, none of that really matters. So long as I lived for the experience. I'm at least happy with how far I've come since I started working. And I think, at least for now, I deserve to rest and appreciate the present, to let everything just sink in and flow slowly like nature's cycle. So, I guess if you don't mind it, we can just sit here in the silence and let the rain go. Because personally, I love the way that it sounds today.